to sort of pass on some information and some sort of insight again today. Um, the last few days I've been getting a lot of sort of information around sort of like flames and sort of like fires and how this integrates here, how this purifies, how this brings rebirth, but it also dissolves. And so when I started to get into this, I was sat outside and I was like just sitting in the garden and in the beautiful weather and thinking of how beautiful it was, and just like things started to flow in. And it took me back to a time where a little while ago I kept getting some stuff in relation to sort of elements, like the elements, like where it's like fire, water, earth, and air, and started sort of like going into that, because a lot of the fire that I was getting in regards to like this flame or this source of energy that's coming through was very much around sort of activation, and it was also to do with like source codes and stuff like that. So it's very much like activating the soul, and as that starts to happen, and that brings in new frequencies. So I also was connecting into something today, and I was shown like a white light, and when I sort of like connected into this white light, it was like this was like the source of it was like what sort of like I am, the I am present in that sense connects to that. So the white sort of energy was like very much about purification again, but it was also connected into it. And then out of this white light was 4 or 5 different sort of colours that were coming out, like a pink, a blue, a yellow, lemony sort of yellow colour, and then I saw a violet, then I saw a green, then I saw an orange, and all of these sort of frequencies I was being led towards are sort of like, they're not guides, but they're like universal frequencies of energy that are coming down, and each of these frequencies holds like a different frequency for the planet, and as it starts to connect in, it brings like a higher frequency, a higher energy, like a higher consciousness. And as we start to move through these, then we start to align with them, then we can start to sort of connect into them. But what I really wanted to talk about was the elements, and it was talking about elements in the way that air is like a new consciousness, new frequencies, and then you've got like fire, which is again, like I said, about purification, rebirth. It's about cleansing, in the same way that water is as well. But it's also like new energies coming down. Like this fire is very much around new energies, like higher frequencies again. And then the sort of the water again is about cleansing, clearing, purifying. And then you had like earth, and the earth is very much around sort of like growth, integration. It's also about sort of like being part of the earth as well. Is sort of like it's like a nurturer, and it's fertile as well. So the earth is seen as like these. So how they explained it was like, so they said it like a seed of like a seed of a soul, and like so the seed of the soul is like the essence, the spark of our nature, which our true nature, which is like spirit. And this seed goes into the earth, and the earth acts as a fertile energy, or a fertile sort of a fertile place, as sort of like as beings, when we incarnate, we come back down to the planet. So they were saying that this seed of the soul then expands and grows. So and it's like symbolic of like flowers. As the sun comes down, which is the source of like light and energy that comes down onto the seed, it opens, expands, and it grows. But it also opens to the energy, it opens to the light. And this is what the earth is. It's like a fertile place that as like spiritual beings we incarnate to come down here, and then sort of like on the earth plane we connect into that energy, we connect into that, the energy of the planet and Mother Earth, and that helps us to awaken and helps us to remember, and that helps us to then start to become these spiritual expressions, which is again the purpose of why we're here. So this is why we come down to the earth, and this is why we incarnate on the earth. And this is what they were saying today about, in this sense of like these elements as it was coming down. So there was lots of things that were coming in together, and like I was saying about this, like this white energy, this white sort of energy that I was being shown today was like it was, I was being shown it as like, so I've been shown this orange flame as like it dissolves and it purifies, and then it sort of like it allows me to be integrated again within that source, as this white light was about centering. So like if you go into this white light, you feel centered in the energy of the source, and it's like, again, it's this kind of feeling of, when I say like the I am presence, which is like this kind of universal vibration, and it's like being centered in that. So and that presence is sort of like creation, and it connects you into sort of like the earth and the frequencies of the planet, but it also connects you back to yourself, which is this spark, this divine spark. So there's been lots of things, there's been a lot of things that have been coming out this morning as I was sitting there and I was just meditating. But I really like the way that it was being explained with these elements, and like the seed of the soul, because there was a while back when I was because I've started sort of like writing down again this week, and I sort of like, so I started talking about sort of writing down about frequencies and vibrations, and as I was doing that, I felt energies were coming in, and there was words coming out. So I started to channel a bit of information as I was writing. But again, it's sort of like with these energies and these colours that I've been seeing. At one stage, I was thinking they were like guides and energies, but it was saying that these are like colours and like frequencies of a universal energy, they're universal frequencies, and obviously each of these colours bring us a different frequency. So and sort of like when we go back to different sort of like spiritual sort of cultures and spiritual realities or times, when we talk about Atlantis and they talk about Lemurian times, when they go back through these, there was frequencies that would come down to the planet, and as these colours and these frequencies that came down the planet and managed to sort of like integrate with the planet and then raise the frequency of the planet. And I feel this is very much it. So it's these energies that are coming down at the moment are very much around that, and the different colours bring a different frequency. But obviously the white is also a spectrum. Like the white light is sort of like, it could be in white light. There's many different colours. As the light goes, as sort of like energy comes through it, it splits. So within white light or white energy, there's many different colours and many different frequencies that are held within that. As you know, when you look in sort of like a crystal, and it sort of like the light sort of goes through it, and then it sort of like splits. Then there's different colours that come out of it. It's very similar like that, with obviously the white energy. So yeah, there's been sort of things that are sort of like coming back, and sort of like are sort of like coming, very sort of like this kind of information that's coming through. And this is stuff that I was getting before, like quite a while ago. I'd say like a year or so back, and it's like all of that kind of stuff is coming into fruition, and it's starting to sort of like really sort of like it's like aligning. It's like, that's what I want to talk about. It's like these kind of energies that are coming in are aligning with us, and they're aligning with the planet, and they're helping us to awaken. And this is what I needed to talk about as well. So the seed of the soul, and the point of coming down here is like that seed of the soul, and coming down and being on earth, and then being sort of like the fertile earth is to awaken us again to this spiritual self, this essence. And again, this flower that opens to the light is symbolic, and is like symbolic of the soul opening up, or like opening up to the spiritual energy, and then starting to be sort of connected in line with it. And it's very much sort of like, this is the kind of things that are coming through to me, and they seem to be sort of like aligning with me at the moment. But it's all about sort of like expression. Sort of all of this is about purify, like being the flame of light that's purifying. It's about opening. It's about being, expressing ourselves in our true nature, our true essence. And this is what is very much around, and this is what this teachings, or these kind of sort of energy frequencies that are coming down, are very much around at the moment. And it's sort of like, for me, it's like this energy, this flame that's been given to me, it instantly gets into my energy and instantly dissolves whatever's there, whatever was heavy, whatever was sort of hanging around my energy. Is instantly dissolved in that instant when that energy comes in. So it's like it's given us tools at the moment to start to move through these frequencies and these energies that are on the planet at the moment, which is as like people talk about being light workers, which are connected to the light, and it's trying to lift the vibration of the planet. And this is part of the ascension process as well. And this is the kind of things that are coming through at the moment. They're very much sort of connecting in. As I connect into it, my heart's completely open, and the energy is completely open. It's just flowing straight through me. So I know these energies that are coming are opening us up at the moment, but they're activating. This is the question. This is the word they keep using, activating. So it's like that energy, that fire energy is like activating, and it's activating like a source code, or like a soul code in us. So it's opening us up, and it's activating a different frequency in us, so that we're actually vibrating differently. But this is making us more sensitive, and it's making us more open to subtle energies as well, which has very much been the kind of feeling that I've had today, that there's many subtle energies around us that are working around us, and it's starting to sort of like, it's us starting to really sort of realign and connect with those. But those subtle energies and those synchronicities are what we always used to be connected to, but that kind of vibration hasn't been. It is on the planet, but it's like it's not. It's like there's people around that are connected to those subtle energies. I'm not saying there isn't, but what I'm saying is happening on a collective level, and this is what this kind of energy was talking about. This kind of energy, this sort of frequency was talking about. This seed to the soul, and the fertile earth of the planet that's opening up. And we're starting to then, obviously, as we start to open up, then it starts to bring this light, and the light starts to allow us to sort of like absorb that energy and absorb that light, and start to reconnect again with that soul's purpose and that soul's essence, and awaken. And then we start to walk as spiritual beings on the planet, which is what we haven't done for a while. And this is what it is. This is part of the awakenings, that we start to walk as spiritual beings, and it connects into what I was talking about with the third, fourth, and the fifth dimension. The third, fourth, and fifth dimension is very much around that. The third dimension is still connected to the physical world and like materialism and ego, and then you've got the fourth and the fifth, and then the higher dimensions that start to come in, and they very much connect on a more spiritual, energetic level, on energetic realities. And this is where we're going now, and this is what's happening with the shifting on the planet. And there are a lot of people that what I'm talking about will make sense to. Because I know I'm not the only one feeling this at the moment, because I feel that quite strongly. And it's about just, recognizing it, expressing it, and walking in that truth, in that reality, and starting to be really sort of transparent about it. And this is what I feel is very much, this is part of the integration that I keep talking about, that we're being integrated, activated, and then it's about how we're supposed to walk as that expression of that essence, that light. And it's very much, this is the way where it's shifting as spiritual beings. And as I talk about this, I don't feel a physical form. I just feel a light. I just feel a light energy. I feel like it's hard to explain, but I feel like just a pure light, pure energy. I don't feel a physical form. I feel very light. I feel very bright, vibrant. And I can even see sort of like a golden light within me, but that's like the essence of who I am. It's not this physical body, and this is the kind of feelings that I'm getting, which is very, very deep. The very deep sort of feelings, and very sort of like vast vibrations that you're feeling when you connect into this energy. I'm just trying to explain it. It's not very easy to explain these kind of things and these kind of experiences that I'm getting at the moment in a physical way, because they're very sort of sense felt things. They're very sort of like, you sense them, but they're not a physical thing that you can explain. It's like a vibration, it's an energy, and they're very subtle, these frequencies. And this is what's going on at the moment. This is what's happening very much on the planet and with all of us. And this is part, like I say, about the awakening, about us sort of like feeling lighter, more vibrant, and our frequencies changing. And as those frequencies change, then our realities change, and our perceptions change, and our insights change. We start to sort of see the world in a very different way. We gain like a clarity of sight and a clarity of vision, but like a spiritual clarity, like a spiritual vision, as it starts to open. And I can see it as I talk about this. I see my third eye open up and this light coming through it. So I know that this is again very much connecting to that, as we start to get that clarity of sight, and that we start to see like the world in a different way with different eyes. You know, when they say like rose tinted glasses, you take them off. It's that kind of feeling, and this is what's coming through now. And as we start to connect into that, it's more about you just starting to sense and feel those energies around you, those frequencies. Um, you know, the world of spirit that's around us, that's walking around us, and it's very much the energetic world which is starting to align and connect with us, and we start to feel it more sort of present on this planet, and in our lives and around us, as we start to open up to that. So that's the message for today. But it is very much about activation, and it's about awakening.